Good afternoon. Today we are presenting our analysis of Bat versus Rat, the foraging file, where we investigate nocturnal food competition between Egyptian fruit bat and black rats. Our team consists of 4 members: Sunil Gautam, Krishna Adhikari, me, myself, Abhishek Khandal, and Shravan Bhatroy. And we are addressing investigation of Project Brief for assignment 2. Our question was, do bat perceive rat not just as a competitor for food, but also as a potential predators? This question matter because if bat do perceive rat as predators, we would expect to see increased avoidance behavior or heightened vigilance during foraging. Understanding these interspecies dynamics help us comprehend how animals adapt their behavior in response to perceived threats in an environment. The study we analyzed was conducted by geologists who monitored a semi-natural bat colony over 7 months using video surveillance. They set up a provisionized food platform and recorded every interaction between Egyptian fruit bat and black rats. We worked with 2 comprehensive datasets that gave us different perspective on the same phenomena. Dataset 1 consists of 907 individual bat landing events, where each row represents a single bat decision to land on the food platform. Dataset 2 consists 2,123 30-minute observation periods, giving us an aggregate view of both species activity pattern. And as with any real-world data set, we encountered data quality issues that require careful cleaning before analysis. We conducted thorough data inspection of both datasets, checking data type to ensure variables were properly formatted and examining missing values patterns. Our cleaning process was conservative but necessary. We identified missing values in key behavioral variables, including approach time, risk behavior, and reward outcomes. We removed observation with missing values in our primary analysis variables, which reduced dataset 1 from 907 to 865 complete observation and dataset 2 from 2123 to 2089 complete observation. This ensures our analyses are based on complete reliable information rather than potentially biased estimates. This cleaning approach maintains the integrity of our statistical test with preserving the vast majority of our data for analysis. By using both datasets after cleaning, we could examine the question from both individual and population level perspective with confidence in our data quality. Now I'll let Krishna to talk about method use and key findings. Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's me Krishna Adhikari. Today I'm going to talk about data analysis method. We have applied statistical technique to analyze our data systematically. We started with the descriptive statistics to understand the basic pattern, calculating mean, median, and standard deviation, and examining the distribution of key variable like approach time and success rate. We created a comprehensive visualization including the histograms to show distribution bar chart to compare categorical variables and scatter plot to examine the relationship between variables for inferential statistics. We calculated the confidence interval to estimate the population parameter with known uncertain bounds. We conducted the hypothesis testing using the Z statistics for the person data, specifically testing whether risks avoidant behavior occur more than would be expected by random chance. We also performed two sample t sets to compare mean approach time between the different behavioral groups. Finally, we used the correlationship analysis to examine relationship between rat and bat activities across the observation periods. Key findings: our analysis of individual bat behavior revealed fascinating results. When we examined risk behavior distribution, we found out the bat shows risk avoidance behavior 458 cases, representing 50.5% of all observation, while risk taking behavior occurred 414 cases, representing 49.5%. When we tested whether this proportional significantly differ from random behavior using jury statistics, we found out it didn't. The p-value was 0.765, meaning we cannot conclude the bats show more avoidance behavior that would occur by random chance. However, then we examined the behavior difference between these two groups, we discovered something remarkable. Risk avoidance bat took an average of only 7.12 seconds to approach food, while risk taking bats too much longer for 16.39 seconds. Even more striking, risk avoidant bat had 84.3 success rate in obtaining food compared to 21.8% of risk taking bat. When we tested was different approach time, we statistically significant using two simple tests. We found it we had significant p-value less than 0.001. This finding suggests that bat doesn't show more advanced behavior overall. Those who exhibit avoidance are actually more efficient and successful. Further, this could indicate the risk avoidant behavior observe revision skill, culture forming rather than fear-based avoidance.
Hello guys, this is Sunil and I'll be talking about so in key findings when when we when we look at the result we found that the bet were almost evenly split between two groups. About half of them were risk avoidance and half of them were risk taking, but even though the number was similar, the way they behave was very different. We can clearly see like avoidance bet just took like 7.12 seconds and the success rate was high, whereas risk-taking bet uh, took like 16.39 seconds and the success rate was low as well. And when we look at the rat, there was no difference in rat, even though in even though in bat present, bat activities with 32.1 landing per period, much more frequent. Specific correction was 0.0.074, very negative relationship. Finally, when we compare two species, we found only a very weak negative relations. This means bat didn't really change their behavior when rat were present. The two species were basically acting on their own without influencing each other. And let's talk about statistical evidence summary. Uh, First, we test when more bad were risk avoidance than expected. The results so it was significant. Basically, the number of avoidance bad could just be random, but when we compare the approach time, the difference was very clear and highly significant. The that tell us avoidance bet really are more efficient than risk taker. We looked at the link between rat activities and bat landing. The result were almost zero, which means that there is a no really strong relationship bat were no not avoiding rat. So overall, the evidence shows the bat are scared of rat. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Shravan Bhattrai. Today I'm going to talk about data visualization. Our comprehensive visualization shows six key aspects of the data. The histogram of approach time reveal or right screw distribution, with most bat approaching foot quickly but some taking much longer time. The risk behavior distribution shows the nearly even split we discussed, with 50.5% showing avoidance and 49.5% showing a risk-taking behavior. The success rate comparison dramatically illustrates the 84.3% versus 21.8% difference between behavior groups. The observation period data shows that rat arrivals are frequent and highly variable, while bat activity is more constant but still showing considerable variable. The scatter plot of the rat arrival versus bat landings visually confirms the weak correlation. We calculate at negative 0.074 with points scattered across the plot showing no clear pattern. These visualizations support our statistical finding and helps us understand that while the overall relationship between species appear weak, there are clear behavior patterns within the black populations that deserve attention. Based on our comprehensive analysis using both datasets, we conclude that there is no evidence to support the hypothesis that bats perceive rats as potential predators. Several key findings support this conclusion. First, the proportion of risk evidence behavior at 0.5% is not significantly different from what would occur by random chance, with a p-value of 0.765. Second, the confidence interval for this proportion ranges from 47.2% to 53.7%, which includes 50%, further supporting that avoidance behavior occur at random levels. Most importantly, the very weak correlations of negative 0.074 between rat arrival and bat landing indicates that the species operate largely independent. If bat were avoiding rats as predators, we will expect to see stronger negative correlation in their activity pattern.